Well, today's Monday, April 28th, 2025, Planning Commission meeting. Let's start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag All right, so item number 2, public comments. This is when the public can speak on any item other than the items that's listed on the agenda. If you want to come up to the podium, you can state your name and your address and share your thoughts with the Planning Commission. All right. No comments, so we'll close agenda item number 2. We'll move on to agenda item number 3, approval of the Planning Commission commission minutes for March 31st. Any corrections or additions or any changes to the minutes?
I make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All right. All those in favor?
Oh, do we have
Oh,
to
so we
take
have
a
to
roll?
take a roll?
Yeah. Vice Chairperson Clark,
Aye.
Commissioner Curtis,
Aye.
Commissioner Johnson,
Aye.
Commissioner Scary,
Aye.
Commissioner Sowers.
Approved. I can't follow you guys. So.
All right. So the agenda, action item number 3 for the agenda has been approved. We'll move on to the public hearing. We have 3 on the docket tonight. We'll start off with the code amendment request by the town of Christiansburg applicant to amend the Christiansburg Town Code, Chapter 42, Section 42-11, amendments to Chapter C, notice and hearing. The request is to, number 1, remove the requirement for notices of public hearings to be published once a week for 2 consecutive weeks, and 2, amend the advertising requirements to the first notice appearing no more than 28 days before, and the second notice appearing no less than 7 days before the date of the meeting referenced in the notice. The change will bring town code into alignment with Code of Virginia 15.2-2204, advertisement of plans, ordinances, et cetera, joint public hearings, written notice of certain amendments. Staff, you want to provide a little background?
Good evening, Commissioners. It's going to sound like I'm repeating what you just said, but basically, the zoning ordinance amendment before you would remove the requirement for notices of public hearings to be published once a week for two consecutive weeks. That's what it is right now. And replace it with a requirement that the first notice must appear no more than 28 days before, and the second notice must appear no less than 7 days before the date of the meeting referenced in the notice. And this is because there was a recent change in the Code of Virginia that you had read, the number 4, and this would bring Christiansburg Town Code into alignment with that state code change. And staff is available for additional questions if you have any.
All right, thank you. Commissioners, anything else to ask or add about that?
Not for me.
All right.
Okay.
Can we vote on that today?
We need to open it up to the public hearing. It's because it's item A.
Oh, item 8, okay.
So if there's anyone here that wants to speak. I
So-
don't think there is.
So is anybody here to speak on item A of the agenda? All right,
Close it.
all right, that's closed. Do I,
We can choose to go to discussion, or we can choose to go on to item B.
okay. So do you want to discuss it further, or we can move on to item B?
I have a question about, how we publicize it. Local newspapers, I think, have traditionally been the method for it, and then I think postings in the neighborhood for the neighbors to see, and then Mike was saying that letters, certified letters to the neighbors. Do we do anything on social media at all, or like town page or anything like that?
No.
Not that I know of.
We have the ability for people to send in a question if they have one on our website, but we don't have anything on social media.
Is there a reason why we can't?
No.
So my only question, my only thought here is, if my mother's 80, love her, she's sweet as can be. She's not gonna read the paper anymore. And if she drives by something in the neighborhood and she sees that little tent, she doesn't know what that means. She has no idea. Plus, she can't read it that far from her car, right? But, hey, it's true. But like, if there's more on social media, if Christiansburg has a post on their page, this is, planning commission coming up, town council's coming up, whatever it is. I think we have a greater chance of more public knowing what's happening than the way we have it right now.
Okay, yep, we can
Is that something, who would that need to go to?
PR, and I can address that with them. We also do have our meetings posted on the calendar on the website, and so that link takes you to the application and packet once that's out.
Yes.
So we do have that as well, but as far as social media goes,
Better
you can,
resource for
like
more people to
Facebook
see it.
and,
Yeah,
Instagram,
okay.
I think that's a great idea.
Bring awareness to more folks.
And can't anyone sign up to receive emails about particular meetings, whether they be council or planning commission?
I will
Like
ask,
notification.
I was gonna say, I'll ask PR, but notifications,
Yeah, it's like I get an email when there's a town council meeting, it takes me right to the agenda packet
okay.
on the website, so. I also want to thank staff for this very nice summary in here, whoever made the little chart with the current policy and the proposed policy. That's very, very concise. Thank you.
I'm glad it's
Yeah, anything we can do to increase awareness is good. Yeah.
We can do that.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Well, with that, if it brings us in alignment with the Code of Virginia, I'm all for it.
So do we want to move on to the next items? or-
That's your choice. Your choice. We can take a motion, or we can move on to the next item.
We'll move on to the next items, and then we'll come back to
Okay.
take a motion. All right. All right, let's move on to item B, conditional use permit requested by Mary Frances Keith, property owner and applicant, to allow a single-family or two-family dwelling in the General Business District B3 on property located near the intersection of Boxwood Drive Northwest and Redwood Drive Northwest, identified as tax parcels 466-1-49, 50, 51, and 52, parcel ID 013934, and consisting of approximately .48 acres. The property is designated as mixed use with buffer residential business on the future land use map of the 2013 Christiansburg Comprehensive Plan. Staff, do you want to provide any updates or any background on this?
Sure. The applicant is seeking approval for a conditional use permit to allow residential use, specifically one single-family or two-family dwelling within the General Business District B3 zoning. The proposed development will adhere to R3 development standards. The property is not located within either the 100 or 500-year flood hazard zone. If this request is approved in accordance with Section 42-623A1 of the Christiansburg Town Code, the applicant will be required to submit a site plan to the town for review and approval. The property in question is the one in blue that you see on the map there. You will note that the surrounding uses include single-family residential, mobile home parks, and a little bit of industrial down toward the south. All right, thank you.
Thank you. All right, this is where we open it up to the public. Anybody regarding this this item, please step forward to the podium, state your name and address.
My name is Kimberly Mills at 475 Chickapin Trail in Christiansburg. This is my mother, Mary Frances Keith. She also lives at 475 Chickapin Trail. She's the owner of the property, and we're looking to do it as conditional use so that we may be able to sell the property. She inherited it from her sister and prior from her parents that lived there. She's 78 years old. She's lived with us for 20-some years. She has no use for this property at all. Insulin-dependent diabetic, so she'll be staying with us, most of the, all the time. The property surrounding it is, got single-family homes. So that being being commercial, there's not a use that anybody would, even want to purchase it for that, And then again, as she mentioned, we did all the calculations and stuff. It does meet all the requirements for that. Let's see. That's about all I have. Any questions?
None right now.
Okay.
Well, if we have any questions, we'll definitely fall back to you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, appreciate it. Any other comments regarding this? All right. We will move on to item C. Conditional use permit requested by Burke's Properties LLC, property owner, and David Beasley, applicant, to allow for a kennel in the general business district B3 on property located at 1605 North Franklin Street, identified as tax parcel 466-A-20C, parcel ID 013214, and consisting of approximately 10.9 acres. This property is designated as business commercial on the future land use map of the 2013 Christiansburg Comprehensive Plan.
The applicant is seeking approval for a conditional use permit to allow a kennel. And you'll see the definition of kennel is provided in your packet as a place prepared to house, board, breed, handle, or otherwise keep or care for dogs and/or cats for sale or in return for compensation, or any place where more than a total of 4 dogs and/or cats over 6 months of age are kept for any purpose. And this includes animal daycare and overnight boarding. The applicant proposes to operate a retail store to sell pet accessories and pet food, and currently offers grooming services. If the proposed CUP is approved, the existing pet spa could potentially add pet daycare and boarding for dogs and cats. Based on the documents provided with the application, at full capacity, the pet hotel would house 20 dogs boarding, 20 dogs in daycare, and 10 to 20 cats in foster care or for adoption. The applicant has provided a layout of the facility, including an outdoor fenced playground for the pet daycare that's stated to be a 7.5-foot metal slatted fence. And the applicant has indicated that hours of operation for the daycare would be 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. The applicant has not offered any conditions. Planning Commission may wish to consider the following staff recommended condition. Number 1, the conditional use permit shall apply solely to the structures, use, and property described on the permit. Any additional proposed kennels on tax parcel 466-A-20C shall require a separate conditional use permit. All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, anybody from the public that's willing to,
Well, okay. Hi, my name's David Beasley. I'm the owner and operator of Prestige Pet Sitting, and this is our new product, which is Prestige Pet Hotel and Spa. The reason it's called a pet hotel is because it's a little bit different than pet boarding. We specialize in low-density boarding, so we have 7,000 square feet. It's actually the old Town and Country building. So we have 7,000 square feet, and we have about 15 dog rooms, and then we have 1 cat room. So at maximum boarding, we could hold about 15 to 18 dogs, and then maybe 3 to 4 cats boarding. The foster situation is separate from that. We also have a 4,000 square foot fenced-in area in the back. that would be used for daycare. They also have an indoor play area as well that they can go if it's raining or too hot. And all that will be turfed inside there as well. We have on that, the right side of the building is reserved mostly for the spa. We've got 2 groomers. And we're basically just looking to fill the needs of the community. As especially Blacksburg and Christiansburg increases in population, they all bring their animals. And we've noticed a big demand for boarding, daycare, and grooming. So we're just trying to meet that demand. And yeah, we're basically just asking for the same exact thing it was used for as the past 30 years, just minus the vet. So I'll be happy to answer any questions if you guys have any. But thank you.
Thank you very much, appreciate it. All right, anybody else has anything to say from the public? All right. Let's move on to the, sorry, I'm scrolling. All right, so let's move on to action item D, rezoning request by RN Investments, Annex LLC, property owner and applicant to rezone property located at 115 Farmview Road Northwest, identified as tax parcels 466-1-60A-67A. Parcel ID 070719, consisting of approximately 9.05 acres from General Business District B3 to General Industrial District I2. The property is designated as business commercial on the future land use map of the 2013 Christiansburg Comprehensive Plan. Anything else to add to that, staff?
The purpose of the request is to rezone the parcel from B3 to I2 to allow for plumbing and electrical supplies, manufacture, sale, or storage. Specifically, the storage and sale of plumbing supplies not undercover. In the B3 district, plumbing supply storage is required to be undercover, while there's no requirement to cover in the I2 district. The commission will note that the applicant has indicated the proposed use will take place in a leased area indicated on Exhibit A of their application by a red line. The rezoning request, however, is for the entirety of the property, including the portions outside of the indicated area. Since you got your packet, the applicant has provided a proffer statement regarding allowable uses. I spoke with the applicant just before this meeting. They are intending to revise that proffer statement prior to the next meeting. So you would expect to see a different list of proposed uses before the next meeting. A copy of the permitted uses in the I2 district has been provided to you, including you have the current proffer statement that the applicant provided, as well as a list of the I2 uses that shows what they have proposed to allow versus strike out. But like I said, we're expecting for that to change before the next meeting.
Excuse me.
The applicant has noted that they intend to access the site via Farmview Road Northwest. There is an existing entrance along the southern border of the property as well to Ridinger Street Northwest. And if you have any questions, staff is available.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any comments from the public regarding this matter?
Good evening. My name is Neil Cassie. I'm with the owner of the applicant. For you to hear today, the staff did a good job of presenting what we're going to do. This is the old Moose Lodge property that's on Farmview Road. The building sits at the rear of the property. The front of the property is the rear of the property with the building is where we post to lease to Afford-A-Line, which is a wholesale plumbing, sells to government contractors, big wholesale suppliers, not to the general public. so there's not a lot of traffic issues or anything like that. The property will be screened as required. It's just not, the cover, pipes and plumbing stuff will not be covered, but it will be, the whole area will be screened as required by B3 and I2. So the sole purpose of that going from B3 to I2 is for it not to be covered. We're happy to do the screening. As to the front parcel, the property's not subdivided, so we, rather than have split zoning, have the rear zoned I2 and the front B3, we just propose or request to zone it all I2, and we've put a proffer list together that would limit our uses in the I2 to more business, commercial type of uses, not the heavy industrial type of uses. We are going to amend that, not to make it any tougher. It's just that the way I did it, I said any uses permitted in the B3 zone would be allowed, and we can't do that here by your code. So anything that's in B3 that's also a light business or light industrial use, we'll proffer that will be limited to those items. So the list we gave you, I think, is probably all you'll get, excluding the B3 request, but there may be one or two other items as well. And I'm happy to answer any questions you guys may have at the proper time.
Thank you. Any other public comments? All right, so at this point, we will close all the public comments. We will discuss each action item, and agenda items 4A, B, C, and D with the planning commissioners, and then we will make our decisions based on our discussions. So let's just move on back to Section A, the code amendment request. Commissioners, anything to discuss, anything further to discuss?
I have no qualms.
All right. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All right. Motion's been made to make the amendment to approve as written. We'll do the roll. Do I ask you?
I could do it, yeah.
Okay.
Vice Chairperson Clark,
Aye.
Commissioner Curtis,
Aye.
Commissioner Johnson,
Aye.
Commissioner Scary,
Aye.
Commissioner Sowers.
Aye.
All right,
All right.
one down.
Action item is, motion's passed. Let's move on to item B, the conditional use permit from Mary Frances Keith and commissioners. Anything to discuss? Any concerns, questions regarding action B?
I'll say before I enter into discussion that pursuant to Virginia Code Section 2.2-3112, Section B1, and 2.2-3115, Section H, I am declaring that I am a member of one of three or more businesses that may be affected by agenda items 4, B, C, and D as an owner of an electrical and electronic security contractor. I am able to participate in the discussion and voting on this matter fairly, objectively, and in the public interest. And I'll just say on item B here, I think this is a good fit for the neighborhood. I don't see any problem with this. I don't see why it wasn't a residential zoning to begin with, but I don't have a problem with the house in that area, so.
Can you call up the map? So it looks, and I'm looking at the blue section in there, and the CUP is for a single-family or two-family dwelling, but there appears to be like 1, 2, 3, or 4 lots. Is that, my eyes deceiving me, or, I mean, could they put more than one house or more than one two-family dwelling on there? Would it be limited to it?
I would imagine the setbacks aren't going to allow that.
Correct.
They're going to need all those, so mostly they're going to
Okay.
do, tell me if I'm wrong.
You are correct.
But they're going to do the two larger lots on the top. That's where that house would, if there was a house to be built, or a townhome, whatever it happens to be, they're going to be on those two lots. They
Okay.
can build over the property lines.
Right, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And I
So
would think that those lots are too small
To
to
do
meet
an
current,
individual.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It
Without a-
has to
without
meet
a-
the code for that.
Right, so that would limit then the, putting 6 homes in there.
Yes.
Yeah, because I know even with an R3, you still need 10,000 square feet for a single-family home,
Okay,
so.
that answers my question then.
My understanding is they would have to vacate any lot lines in order to meet current setback requirements for the R3 district.
Got it.
But
Okay,
yes, you're right, those, right now, that is 4 separate lots.
got it. Okay.
All right,
I don't have any problem with it.
I don't either.
Mark, anything to add?
I guess it may not be really an issue, but I'm just curious if that's a trailer park or those individual lots, like the neighbors. The neighbors, is that part of a park or like individual pieces of land owned by the,
That one, I believe,
like they
are
do? They own three.
individually owned. The one,
What we're looking at is,
the one across the street on the left side, on your left side, those are all owned by the same person.
thank you.
I don't have any concern.
Okay, so I can make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Vice Chairperson Clark,
Aye.
Commissioner Curtis,
Aye.
Commissioner Johnson,
Aye.
Commissioner Scary,
Aye.
Commissioner Sowers.
Aye.
All right. Motion's passed.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Let's move on to item C. Sorry, I'm scrolling a lot too much.
I'll start with a comment. I think the idea is great. I think it's fantastic, and I saw your pictures. Yeah, finding lodging for dogs is very hard today, and it looks like you guys are doing a great job on layouts, and it's not overwhelming with the number of animals there. And we used to actually take our dog to Town and Country there, and so we know the facility very well, and so, yeah, I think it's a great idea. I don't see any downside, at least from my thinking of what I've seen so far. I like the limitations on the times. I do have one question, would be the outside park area after 6 PM, would the dogs be outside?
Yeah, so for bedtime, we do take them on individual walks before bed. You wouldn't expect like any noise for that, but any kind of group play would end at 6 PM.
Okay.
So that's,
Okay.
yeah. So as far as noise goes, that's not really an issue for that.
Devin, do you have the aerial of that? Sorry. Yeah, so when you're looking at it, there's really, there's no residential behind it.
Gotcha.
I think it's a great idea. I like a plush little place to take my dog, so.
Come on down.
Right, right.
I mean, I was checking out the pictures, it looks nice.
It does
Oh,
look
yes,
nice.
it does look nice.
Can people stay there?
If you approve it, we might consider it.
Careful what you ask for. Little pet.
There's just more opportunities from what I gather. I'm a pet owner. Grooming is very difficult sometimes to
Yeah, that's
get
great.
booked. That's the number one thing that caught my attention. So,
No, it's a
Absolutely.
great idea.
Filling a vacant space.
filling
Yeah.
filling
Yeah.
vacant space, and what
Yeah.
better use of the property than,
Absolutely.
That building's coming along nicely. They're filling it up very nicely, so.
That we've got a new entirely paved parking lot, and he's redone all the roofing, so there's no more leaking. And yeah, a lot of the areas that we had, we just repurposed. We really didn't have to do anything in terms of construction too much, because we were just repurposing what Town and Country already did. So I think it'll work well.
That's great.
Yeah.
Great.
Any
And-
other questions? Thank you.
The other comment I wanted to make was I like what staff had added to that that, you know, no additional kennels without a separate CUP. So it is what it is right now for this CUP. Yeah, that's great.
Anything else to add? All right. Ready to make a motion?
A motion to approve?
Second?
Do you want that with,
With the
Before we-
condition?
yeah,
with the condition?
Yep.
Motion to
want-
approve with the conditions as presented?
Second.
Okay.
Vice Chairperson Clark,
Aye.
Commissioner Curtis,
Aye.
Commissioner Johnson,
Aye?
Commissioner Scary,
Aye.
Commissioner Sowers.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
It's great.
And then we'll move on to action item D. I know that there will be a revised proffer statement. Commissioners, any additional questions or comments?
Are you gonna close the road that goes to the farmhouse? I don't remember that road over the, and I asked this because the road, the asphalt and stuff is a little bit sketchy right there, right? And, I think there's a gate there at this point that goes over the
Yeah.
tracks.
Yeah. very-
There is a gate that goes over the tracks. The railroad tracks don't have a crossing, so it's not really safe. So yes, the
Yeah.
plan is to close that. And we
Good.
probably should have closed it before now.
Right.
Okay,
No, that's
I
good.
like that, I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
I know a lot of people like skirt through there. Any issue with the driveway itself and with, it's, I don't remember how wide that drive is going down to, Farmville, but like if you have tractor trailers coming to pick up or deliver product, is that drive wide enough, safe enough, and good enough condition to hold the weight of those trucks?
It's, I think it's 16 foot, so it's, but I have a representative from the tenant for the line who can tell me. Yeah, so yes, ma'am. And we'll keep it, you know, they'll maintain it or we'll maintain it in good
Okay.
condition.
So like there's some, I know currently there's some pretty big potholes in there.
Yeah, they are.
Because I'm a cheater and I go through the parking lot, and so I found them.
I wasn't going to admit it, but
I
yes.
think we all do.
But I'm sure that's being addressed.
Yes,
So-
ma'am,
so that's
that'll be addressed, yes.
that's not part of tonight anyway, but, so deliveries in and out, everything can work well.
Yes,
Coming off of Farmview, you're gonna be turning at Sheets.
yes, ma'am.
How many trucks do you expect in a week?
In a week, I'd say maybe a handful a day at the most. I mean, we go sometimes 2 or 3 days without even a tractor trailer coming through. Most of our stuff is even on the short trucks, like Southeastern Freight, stuff like
Right.
that, or you buy UPS.
Okay, just thinking about, having, I know tractor trailers go out that road because we have the large stores back there, but I'm just questioning how much more traffic it would put out there, but it doesn't sound like much.
No, ma'am, I mean, honestly, contractor-wise, we would probably see maybe 15 to 20 contractors a day to come through. Most of what we do is delivery. So a lot of our stuff is delivered out on 26-foot flatbeds out to job sites, municipalities, stuff like that. It's very little traffic.
Sir, I'm sorry, can you state your name and your address, please?
My name's Chris Morgan, and I'm with Fortiline. I live in Appomattox County. Our company is out of Texas.
Okay. All right, thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Do you have a mock-up of what the property will look like with all of your equipment and docks and things like that?
No, so we won't add any docks. We don't use loading docks, because a lot of our stuff is big, heavy. We sell underground utilities, so water, sewer main, piping, storm piping. Matter of fact, Town of Christiansburg is a customer of ours. So anything to do with underground water, sewer, or storm.
So concrete cast
We won't
pipe?
keep if we keep concrete, it'll be a handful of pieces. Most of that ships direct from the manufacturer to the job sites, just because it's so big and bulky and heavy to handle. Yes, sir.
The thing I like about it is we're, once again, utilizing a building that hasn't been used.
Yes.
So that's great. And if I heard correctly, there's a fencing around the entire property.
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes,
and
sir.
it's off the beaten path too, so it's not like you can be driving by and and seeing a bunch of supplies in the yard.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah.
Yeah, we're very strict on our locations as far as appearance and being good stewards. We do yearly audits. Matter of fact, our store has to do a monthly audit, and then we have an outside auditor come in every year to make sure that the appearances are good, it's not overgrown,
That's great.
and everything is safe.
So I'm assuming, I'm sorry, is that
No,
everything?
I'm done.
So when you say the property's gonna be fenced, the top half is gonna be fenced where you're renting, right?
So
They're probably not-
essentially, the red line
Yeah.
around the property
Yeah.
is what's gonna be fenced. That's indicating what we plan on fencing.
So that's gonna be your outdoor storage, it's just that parking lot space.
Yes, ma'am.
I like that even better, okay.
And we'll probably have some kind of back over to the right on that gravel lot as well.
Okay.
So I'm perfect. I think it's a great fit for the top half of the property, or for the south half of the property. I am a little uncomfortable with I-2 extending down to Farmview there, because I think that's more of a commercial district area. And so I understand there's been proffers that you guys are saying that there's, we're only going to limit it to these. With those proffers, the question for staff is, if we were to approve the rezoning with the proffers that it can only be these I-2 uses, then the property was sold without anything being put on it later, would those proffers then stay with that I-2? Okay, all right, good.
That's fair.
Good. I feel a lot better about it then.
Okay, so,
Anything, Mark?
So if I heard correctly, these may change a little bit.
Yeah, and I can tell you how it's gonna change, if you'd like.
I guess I'm a little concerned on voting whether we know exactly what they are, so, I mean, my particular opinion would be, I'd rather wait and see it in writing
Yep.
before we take a vote, but you're welcome to share the information.
Yeah, we would just add A11 and A30 and A37.
And then no B3.
No B3.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes, sir.
And there'll be three, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. And I will send that in tomorrow. in
Okay.
writing.
thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yep.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Thank you, and nothing else, Commissioner? All right. So I'll close action item D. So for the items that were approved today, they will be seen in town council meeting. The next meeting is for Tuesday, May 27th. So that's when you'll be able to present, answer any questions or, of whatever town council may have. Our next planning commission meeting is on May 19th. So that's when we will see the additional proffers and any additional changes that you may make to the request.
For the 27th, make sure you guys are present and have the same conversations, the same information that you gave us this evening. Okay.
Do we have to submit anything, or they already will have the information?
They will have it already.
Yep. And they'll be able to see our comments and watch what we talked about tonight, too.
So that will conclude the action items under public hearings, 4A, B, C, and D. Welcome to stay for the remainder of the meeting, but we're going to move on to other business.
So, and congratulations to you guys.
Congratulations to
Yeah.
everyone.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Move on to other business. Let's move on to other business. Staff, anything to ask or anything? No?
I don't have anything.
All right.
The applications went out for a new planning commission member. So you have any friends, colleagues, peers that you want on there? You want to work with us, now's a good time to share that information.
Actually, I do have something then, I got
No,
an
you lost
application
your
already.
opportunity.
Yeah?
I did, but I already got one application today.
Good.
And so,
How long are you gonna hold it open for applications? 2 weeks? What's normal?
think, do you know what her advertisement said? She might text me and tell me. Katie?
And
She,
I know we don't have a vote in it, but if you can send that out, that would be nice to, for us to
absolutely.
take a look.
May 30th.
Good job, Katie.
All right, anybody have anything else? All right, meeting's adjourned.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.